welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is going to be the next part of our food app series. So basically, what we did in the last video is we implemented something similar to this, and now in this video what we are going to do is that we will be implementing this. Okay, so one thing that I didn't do in the last video was that we have this lines that says, and we also have this sign in with, but in the design we actually typed sign in. So what we will do is that we will implement this, and also if you look into this, these buttons and then these buttons and then these buttons are same, and these are three different screens. So what we can do is that maybe we can keep it in one place and then reuse them, which is basically a good thing about composable. So we will be implementing that. Along with that, we will be creating this whole component as a single component and then reuse it on different places, so that we don't have to like do these customization every single time. So I think that is pretty much what we have for now, and now what we will be doing is that we will be implementing it. So let's just get back to our code, and when you go to this code, a couple of things that we need to do is that, if you remember, we added this orange color to our color codes. So we'll just get to that, go to our themes, and these primary colors, just change those primary and secondary colors to this. So the purple color for both of those changes, and I think that's pretty much what it is. We also have this dynamic color schemes that you can basically depends on the device colors. So if you want to enable that, you can enable that as well. For now, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna set it to false, because I want to check my own colors, so don't want to go with the dynamic colors. Okay, so the color scheme is there, and if I go to my auth screen and then I open this view for preview, you will see that we have, okay, there is something outdated. Let's just re-execute that. Okay, so now we have this thing, something like this, and we have this sign in, which is supposed to be sign in with, and we should have those lines along with that. So the first thing is that I'm gonna take all this thing into a single place as a composable, and we will implement something that will basically fix this whole design dilemma that we have. So what I'm going to do is that I'll get over here into this UI section, and inside this UI section, inside this features, sorry, no, it's inside this UI, let's just create a Kotlin class and call it widgets. Okay, and now we have this widget file. Let's just get rid of that and create a composable over here. Okay, and that's composable is supposed to be a group. So what I'm going to say is that I'll say fun group social buttons. Okay, and now it will be on Facebook click. So let's say when user click on a Facebook button, what we are going to do, and then same for the Google. We don't have Twitter, so just get rid of that, and we'll have something like this. Okay, now you saw that we have text first. So the first thing that we need is that we need to have a column, and then inside that column I'll be creating a raw. We'll say modifier, sorry, not over here, inside that let's say modifier dot fill max width. Okay, that's one thing. Now inside that, this is important, because over here what we will do is that we will create that text plus lines. So to draw some lines, what you can do is that you can add a horizontal divider, and you can define that okay, what you want. Let's say I want to max width. Also you can add the thickness of how much thick you want that divider to be, and if you want, you can set the color as well. So for now, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take the color from outside. Okay, and the reason is why is that I'll show you when I use it. Okay, so I'm just going to use this as color, and I think that is the color that we will be using. So color is going to be color. Okay, I think I imported the wrong color as I expected. We'll just use the compose graphics. Okay, so now we have this color, and I can set it to white as well as a default. So for default it will be taking white, but if you want, you can add this. Okay, now we have this thing. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to set it to 1f as well. Let's just get rid of this. So that's one thing. We have a horizontal divider that is set to 1. Then we have another horizontal divider that is set to 1, and inside that I'll create a text, and that text is basically going to be a string resource r dot string dot sign in with something like this. Okay, and we'll add the color as well. Okay, so let's just get rid this and call it sign in with. Okay, and replace it with sign in with some text like this. So we have got this now. We have almost everything that is there. A couple of things that we need to do is that we need to arrange them in the center. Okay, and also we want to vertically arrange them as well. So vertically alignment should be center as well. So should be alignment, something like this. Okay, so now this view basically will be helping in setting up that. What else we can do is that maybe we can add a couple of padding. So let's say we add some start padding so that it leaves some space from the start, and same thing, but this time the padding is going to be end, so that is going to be a.dp. Okay, so now this is basically a simple divider with the text. Now the next thing that we want is that we want those buttons, like these buttons over here. And when you look into these buttons, the thing is that these buttons are like pretty much repetitive. There is nothing specific, just the title and the image is changing, rest is basically same. So what we can do is that maybe we can copy this and create a single composable for this. So over here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say composable function social button, and that social button is supposed to contain a couple of things. Let's say it's gonna take icon, right? That is going to be int. It's gonna say get a title, that is also going to be an int, and along with that it's gonna get a on click functionality that is going to be something like this. Okay, so this means that now we have these icon, title and on click functionality ready. And now what I'll do is that I'll paste whatever I copied from there. So now the on click will be replaced with the on click functionality that we called. The title is basically over here, so we'll just change that title to something like this. Title should be title. Okay, and the last one is basically the image. So for that I'm going to say like, now we have the same button. All we need to do is that we need to create go back to this section, and now you see we have this whole raw which is basically doing the same thing. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get that raw and replace that basically with the social group social buttons with these two functionality that we have. And we also don't need that text on top as well, so I'm just going to get rid of that. It will be still complaining it, but we'll fix that. Okay, now I like basically cut that from there and I'll paste that code over here. So now when I paste that code, you will see that we have these two buttons and these are basically the social buttons. So I'm just going to remove that and create a simple social button. This is going to be for Facebook. So I'm going to say r.rowell.ic Facebook, then that is going to be r.string.sign with Facebook, right? And the on click is supposed to be on Facebook click, right? And then that is basically going to be the same for Google as well. So rather than Facebook, we'll be choosing Google, sign in with Google and on Google click. Now if you go back to the code and let the preview do, it is basically the same that it did. So basically that's all we wanted, right? The only thing is that the lines are like cutting the this text. So what we can do is that maybe we can add some padding to this text. So we'll say modifier dot padding to be 8 dp, so that it leaves some spaces and also from top as well. So now we have this, and now this is basically a whole component that we can reuse anywhere we want. So this was it. Now let's just go to create our sign in screen, and to create a sign in screen, what we need is that we will be if you go back to our Figma file, inside this sign in screen you have this thing. Okay, this is what we implement, and then this is something that we have. So what we will do is that we will use these items. Like there are some places. What you can do is that you can just hide the rest of the stuff inside this Figma, like over here. Sorry, not here. At this sign up button. Now over here you will see that you have this email. You can hide that. You have password. You can hide, and these groups that you have, name, sign up text, and this group that you have. So now you have something like this, right? So just select that from the top, right, as a whole screen. And then if you preview it, you will see something like this, and you can just change it to SVG and then export it. Okay, I've already exported it. You can just click save, and then it will be exported. And once you export that, what you'll do is that you'll get to this. So once you do that, you'll go to this resource file. Inside this drawable, again you will import that vector. So I have already loaded it, but if you like, you can just go and select that background that you have selected, and you will get something like this, right? So once you get that, what you can do is that you can just get that, load that, and then inside this file you will see that you have this one path that is white, and that is basically this white background. And if you don't want that, you can just get rid of that. This is something that you will be getting now. Okay, now this is done, and what we will do is that we will start implementing our login screen. So inside that auth, can create a sign up package that I already have. So inside that sign up package, now let's just get started. Create a Kotlin class. Now name it sign up screen, and this will be something like this. Okay, now create a composable function sign up screen, and then you will be creating a preview for that. So that is preview composable preview screen. Okay, and then enable the preview mode so that going on, you can just refresh it. Now the first thing that we want is that we want a box over here. Basically that box is going to help us set up that image in the background. So I'm going to say fill max size, and okay, now inside that the next thing that we want is that we want a box, sorry, we want an image. So we'll get over here image and say painter resource r dot drawable dot the image that we got from that is going to be something like this. Our file is not important, so we can import that and then set it to null for this. Okay, once you do that, you'll get something like this. It is leaving some space from the boundaries, and so for that we need to fix that. We will be adding this to fill max size, and once you do that, you'll hopefully get it fixed. Okay, but still, if you think that it might be, there might be cases where it will not be scaling to that, for that you can just say that okay, what we're doing is that we will be using fill bound. That will basically be making sure that it fills those whole bounds in term of this specific design. Okay, so now this is done. The next thing is that, as I mentioned, that we want that buttons in the bottom, right? So next thing could be that we can create a column. Okay, have a column, and we'll be creating modifier dot fill max size for this as well, since this is going to be the section. Then we will be using group social buttons, and this is pretty much what it will be doing. And you can see now the color is over here is white, and we want that in black. So what I'm going to do is that I'll set that color to black, and once you do that, you will see that the color is now updated, right? And now we want that in the bottom, leaving some space in the bottom. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add some padding, and to the bottom section I'm going to add, sorry, let's just add 16 dp from all sides so that we don't have to like worry about all those paddings and things like that. So it will leave some space from every side. Okay, and now the thing is that we will place all our element like from downwards to the top, and we'll try to leave whatever space that is left on top. So in that case, what I'm going to do is that I'll create a box, Okay, and then that modifier and set the weight to 1F. So when I set that, it will take all the remaining space and place that stuff that I have in the bottom. That's how I think I want it. Now when I keep on adding button, the size of this box will keep on shrinking based on the available size in the column. Okay. Okay, so we have this thing. The next thing that we need is that we need some spacer. So I'm going to add some spacer to this, and that is going to be a 16 dp spacer from there. And then I need a text. So once we add a text, that text is basically going to be string resource r dot something like this, but this is going to be already have an account. So it will add that. Need to, okay, the color should not be white. So something like this. Okay, and you make sure that this is modifier dot padding, and the padding is 8 dp from each side. Also this is clickable, so that it's clickable in term of that. Also you can fill max width, and the next thing is that we can text align, and that is making sure that the text align is basically center as well, so that it goes to the center of that. Now I think this padding is quite a lot, because we have that, and we also have some space, like stuff in that string. We also have some padding in this group section as well, so I think that is fine. This is good, I would say. Okay, so now the text is done. The next thing that we need to do is that we need to add more spacer, and that is going to be modifier. And again, this is not going to be this. Let's make it 16. Sorry, that is going to be size, and then that is going to be 16. Okay, and after that we need a button, right? So we'll be creating a button, and that is going to be simple button, and that says a text that is says sign up. So we'll just add a sign up button to this, call it sign up. Once you do that, most probably be we'll just refresh that, and you'll get this sign in button. But the problem with this button is that the first thing is that this quite smaller. We need a little bit of height from this, and also the background of color of that button is not what we want. So what we can do is that first thing is that modifier is equals to modifier dot height, and let's make that height to be 48 dot dp. That should be enough, right? And also we will be using colors. So for button colors, what I'm going to do is that I'll be using something like button default dot button color, and then that is basically going to be container color. And in our case, since it's an orange, so I'll be using orange color for that, which is basically this, right? And now, as I mentioned, that the sign up button is like quite smaller. So what I'm going to do is that I'll add some padding to the text, so that internally it takes some spacing, and horizontally I'm going to say let's make it a 32 dp, so that it takes some space. Okay, now it looks much better. And the thing is that these are not center aligned, so what we can do is that maybe we can center align them horizontally as center horizontally. Once you do that, it will be aligned centrally. Okay, now the next thing is that if you look into the design, we have these things. Let me just revert back that screen. Now we have everything done till this point, and now we need this. Now you can see that basically this is a slight border, and then we have this password, email, and full name, each spaced, and then we have this border according to that. So how do we handle that? One way is that we can like create our own text field and set up all these things. The second way is that we can design this whole component as one composable, and then reuse that composable on the different places. So let's just do that. So to do that, again we'll go to our widget screen, widget class. you can like create multiple widget in single widget class, or if you want you can maybe create separate classes for these widgets. So it's totally up to you. And then inside this composable, what do we need? We will be saying that this is going to be function food hub text we text field. Okay. And now basically the food text field means, now let's say we will be setting a column inside that. That is important. And inside that column I'll be keeping our outlined text field, outline text field, something like this. Okay. Now we have this value and on value chain that we will be using, but we don't want that over here. One more thing, since I'll be using all these functionality of this outline text field, so I want this text field that I create, the custom one, to be as scalable or as configurable as possible, as like we have this. So we'll just get over here and we'll select the one with that string. So this is the one. And we can do is that we can select all these things from here and paste it as a parameter for this as well. This is important because we will be using all these properties for this. Now what we will be doing is that we will be saying value is equals to value, then on value change. So maybe we can try this whole as this. Hopefully it will not be crashing or something. The only thing that I don't want to pass over here is that label. So we'll be setting at null as label, and I think the rest should be fine. So that is done. One more thing, as I mentioned, that for borders, outlines, we want to set some colors. So what I'll do is that I'll go for colors.copy, and then inside this color copy, let's say the colors are focused indicators colors. So when it is focused, we will be setting it to orange. When it is unfocused, we will be setting it to light gray, but we also want that to be like very light. So let's say something close to 0.4 f. Okay, that's done. Okay, so the second thing that we can do over here is that we can go to our outline, sorry, the label, and we want to check that label. So if it's not null, then what we are going to do is that we can create a raw. Okay. And then inside that raw, first thing is that we want to load that label. Along with that label, what we can do is that we can add a spacer, like a ADP spacer, so that the modifier dot size, something like that. Okay, that is basically just we want to have some space before it just set it up. Okay, now that is done. And now one more thing, like there are some minor thing that we want to change, like for the shape. Over here we have this shape parameters. Where is that shape? Over here, yeah. So this shape is basically outline default field for now. What we want is that we want that to be round corner shape, and we want that to be something to like 10.dp, so that it the edges are round. And what else? I think that should be enough. We can maybe update the text style for this as well, because the font for this should be text style dot copy. Then over here we can define a font weight that is going to be semi bold, just like that. What else? I think that is pretty much what it could be. Or am I missing something? I think for now it's fine. Let's just use this and see how it goes. Now we'll use this text over here, and we'll get over here, and then just beneath that box, since we have this button, let's add a spacer over here. Yeah, that's something that I was talking about. I think we needed that. Now what I'm gonna do is that I'll use something like this, and this is going to be a label, is basically not a string, but it's going to be composable. So now let's just add a text with an email, but not going to be email, it is going to be password. Let's use that. Get value as password. Okay, now you can see that we have this thing, and when I refresh it, we'll also get the text on top as well, but there will be some spacing issues. So I think we need to fix that spacing between those elements on its own. Okay, you see this spacing is not looking good, so we need to fix that, right? So to fix that, we go back to our auth, and inside this, first thing is that we need to add some spacer for like ADP. First thing, 8.dp, right? And let's just make this 4dp so that its spacing is not that bad. Also, we gonna add some padding, at least vertical padding, to be close to 8 dp for both sides, so like it leaves some space from the top and bottom as well. Now when you see that this should be something like this, which is how we want that, right? You can also like add the like the trailing icon as well and the visual transformation. So in our case it is going to be password, so that is going to be password visual transformation, so that when you enter something it will be in terms of stars. And you can also add the trailing icon as well, since we have a trailing icon with the ICI, which is not yet here, but we can add that. So let's just go over here and export that trailing the eye icon that we have as this. We will be using SVG and export it. Okay, so that is going to be ICI. And once you do that, you can just import it like we do all the other drawables into our project. So we'll get over here, select that ICI, and finish that. So once you finish that, you will see this, and you just need to revert, and then you will see something over here. So this is basically how it will look, which is fine, right? Okay, so we have this setup done. The next thing that we need to do is for password. So let's just do it for sorry, that is going to be for email. So let's just change it to email, something like that. Okay, and now when you add email, it will go on top of that, looking really cool. And the last one is going to be for, okay, so that is done. Then we need a label for name and something like this. So I'll just create a full name. Once you do that, we'll most probably be fixing all the stuff that we have. So we'll just refresh it. Important, because when you add some sort of string or like any of the resource, it has to reload those. So make sure to do that. And now we have this full name, we have name, email, and password. And let's say if I add something into this, let's say code with FK, you will see that it will be shown in a bold font, right? And also now there is one more thing left in this whole design, and that is to add a spacer, and we'll add a bigger spacer this time. So let's say maybe a 20 dp for this, and after that we will be creating a text that is going to be the title of our stuff. So we'll just extend that sp, that is going to be close to 32 sp, right? And we also need a couple of things for this. Let's say we want that font weight to be semi bold, at least not bold. Let's make it bold, right? So that's what it is. Okay, so I think that is done. We need to align this to the start, so we can just make in modifier dot fill max width, and when you do that, it will be aligned to the start. And this is how it should be looking for you. And if you go back to our design over here, this basically this image for that is quite smaller, but I think that is pretty much what we want. The color we want a little grayish for this. Other than that, I think our design is pretty much what it is. So let's just go back. and change those text colors for the widget. So we can just go to our widget colors. That is basically the, sorry, it's not over here, it is from here. You can define that color from here. So over here, let's just make it uh, color to be light gray, I think. No, let's make it gray. Yeah, that makes sense, right? So we can just use that for the other ones as well. Right, what else do we have? I think once we do that, it will be how it should look. Now we'll run it on a device and see how it looks on a device when we run this. So we'll go back to main activity, and now this time what I'm going to do is that I'll replace that auth screen with sign up screen to test. So let's just do that, run the code and see if it works. Okay, now you can see that it is doing this, which is fine. There is slight issue with the with how this bottom stuff is being used. It's not leaving that space in the bottom, but I think the rest of the design is pretty much how we want it. So let's just fix that. And to fix that, what we can do is that we go to our, let's place it inside this. Let's see how it looks when we place it, so that the design basically start from there. So when we place it inside the scaffold, it will basically start based on the borders of the screen, and then we'll have a much better, no change at all on this, which is weird. Let's just clean build and restart it. I think there could be something with the build issues. So let's just rebuild this and see if it manages itself according to the screen size. Okay, so when I clean build this, you see that it is now looking like this. We have this click events. We can also click this. We have click events. This button has lower shadow, so we can add some shadow to this. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what we have, and it looks good. The font is not applied. I'm not sure why. I think we are not using the typography, so that is one of the reason. And also, I'll not be able to add something, so we'll just fix this to store those values. And yeah, that's how it is. So let's just add those handling for keeping, like, keep storing those values. So over here on top of that screen, what we can do is that we can create a couple of states. So we'll be using var name by remember. That is going to be mutable state of empty. Just need to import a couple of functionality so that it's done. Then we will be using for email, and then the last one is going to be for password. And then over here inside these field values, like over here I have this, so we'll be using that name, and then that means that name equals to IT, like this. Same, it is going to be email. Then over here it will be saying that email equals to IT. Last one is going to be password, and then over here this means that the password is equals to, oh sorry, inside that to do, just get rid of that, and we'll say password is equals to IT. Okay, so now when we run that, hopefully it will be running as per our expectations. Okay, and now let's see if I add something. We have values being stored. And you can also we haven't added this implementation for like on click of visibility of this, but I think the rest of the thing is how it looks, right? And so the next thing that we would be implementing is that we will implement actually getting that data and then passing it to the server, and then checking if we are able to sign up with this. So once we do that, the next thing would be to implement the Facebook and Google, and then we'll take it from there. So that was it for this video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video. So till then, happy coding. Bye. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please like the video, comment down below and share the video with your friends. For similar content, you can subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, and if you have any queries, you can join my Discord server where we discuss different kind of things. So thank you so much for watching the video. Have a great day. Bye.